One song will put you on the road for 2 to 3 years. You gonna make millions off
but
that
give me a
one
number. Give me a number around ballpark number.
off a real hit, bro.
Yella Beezy thought he'd outrun the streets, but the past always catches up. The Dallas rapper, once riding high on fame and fortune, now sits behind bars, sentenced for the brutal murder of his longtime rival, Mo3. With a capital murder charge hanging over his head, the stakes couldn't be higher. Beezy faces the grim possibility of the ultimate penalty, leaving fans wondering if his story will end behind bars. Beezy, whose real name is Mark Conway, has seen his world turn upside down. Authorities descended on his home, determined to bring him to justice for a crime he thought he'd left behind. The rapper who rose to fame with viral hits and a flashy lifestyle now finds himself facing the most serious charge of his life: capital murder. The case revolves around the 2020 shooting of Mo3, whose real name was Melvin Noble. For years, fans had speculated that the tension between the two artists ran deeper than typical rap beef. But few expected police to connect Beezy to the killing. According to the indictment, Beezy allegedly orchestrated the hit by employing 22-year-old Keywan White, promising payment for the deadly job. On November 11, 2020, Mo3 was traveling northbound on Interstate 35E near Illinois Avenue when his life was tragically cut short. Reports state that White pursued Mo3 and shot him multiple times before fleeing in a black Chevy Camaro. Mo3 was rushed to the hospital, but his injuries proved fatal. White was eventually arrested and sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for weapons charges related to the shooting. Another suspect, Devin Maurice Brown Jr., was also taken into custody. However, the lingering question of who ordered the hit remained unanswered until now. When Dallas authorities moved in on Beezy, the rapper was booked into the Dallas County Jail, where he now sits under a $2 million bond. The arrest rippled through the hip-hop community, confirming long-held suspicions that Mo3's death was more than a random act of street violence. This was a calculated act, one that now places Beezy directly under the spotlight. This isn't the first time Beezy's name has been tied to legal troubles. Before this, his record was already marred by a string of allegations: gun charges, an assault claim, and even a child endangerment case. Now, with a capital murder charge looming, the rapper's chances of walking free grow slim. The streets of Dallas don't forget, and Mo3's grieving family hasn't either. Nicole Williams, Mo3's mother, took to Facebook shortly after the arrest, calling it justice. In her post, she said she could finally have peace. Supporters of Mo3 quickly rallied behind her, flooding her comments with messages of closure, vindication, and support. Meanwhile, Beezy's demeanor remained defiant. In the wake of Mo3's murder, he seemed untouched by the whispers on the streets. Rumors of his involvement didn't faze him. Instead, he flaunted his wealth and success on social media. With luxury cars, stacks of cash, and diamond-studded chains, Beezy acted as if the tragedy was just a distant memory. When images surfaced of Beezy alongside Dontrell White, one of Mo3's alleged killers, questions swirled about how deep their connection went. Yet Beezy brushed it all off, projecting a cool arrogance. Even as accusations intensified, Beezy seemed to taunt Mo3's supporters. At the start of 2021, he posted a New Year's video on Instagram, claiming he was putting his haters in the dirt. The arrogance was palpable, but as the evidence against him mounts, it's clear that the days of dismissing these allegations might be over. A statement many interpreted as a veiled jab at Mo3 and his supporters showed that this wasn't just another rap feud. It was a chillingly bold move, one that hinted at Beezy's belief he had already won. Yet the walls were closing in. By February 2021, Beezy found himself in deeper trouble. Undercover officers arrested him, discovering 5 firearms in a bulletproof SUV. He seemed to be moving like someone preparing for battle, not backing down despite mounting pressure. Instead of laying low, Beezy appeared to double down. Trap Boy Freddy, Beezy's ally and another Dallas rapper, fanned the flames, dropping diss tracks that openly mocked Mo3's death. Freddy's messages made one thing clear: they had no regrets. But now, with a capital murder charge against him, Beezy's future has turned bleak. If convicted, he faces the prospect of life behind bars, or worse. The dangers of the streets are well documented, but prison comes with its own set of challenges. Beezy won't just be another high-profile inmate, he'll be a marked man. Mo3's name still carries heavy weight, and there's no telling who might be waiting to settle scores on the inside. As Beezy's life shifts to this harsh new reality, he'll have time to reflect on how his decisions, on a feud that perhaps could have been avoided, cost him everything. The rivalry between Beezy and Mo3 wasn't always this intense. Once Dallas's rising rap stars shared stages, snapped photos together, and celebrated the city's burgeoning music scene. Fame, though, has a way of stirring old resentments. Mo3, known for his raw storytelling and street-savvy lyrics, was clear about how his rapid rise brought long-standing grudges into the spotlight. His success, he claimed, dragged enemies from his past into his new life. Even Baton Rouge rap legend Boozy Badazz got pulled into the drama. At first, Boozy played the role of an impartial observer, intrigued by the talent pouring out of Dallas. He seemed particularly taken with Mo3, appearing in vlogs together, expressing admiration for the younger artist, and even collaborating on tracks. Mo3 embraced the mentorship, affectionately adopting the moniker Mo3 Badazz as a nod to Boozy's influence. Meanwhile, Yella Beezy was also carving out his own path. His breakout track, Trappin' Designer, was making waves, and his confidence was evident when he appeared on Say Cheese TV. During the interview, Beezy proudly named Dallas's top rappers, himself, Mo3, Trap Boy Freddy, Go Yayo, and Lil Ronnie. At that time, the dynamic seemed relatively positive, if not entirely friendly. But as the spotlight grew brighter, so did the cracks in their camaraderie. In a May 2017 Say Cheese interview, Mo3 acknowledged a misunderstanding with Beezy, but claimed they'd patched things up. He described how they had met in Dallas to settle their differences, attributing the initial drama to miscommunication, possibly over a woman. Beezy echoed a similar story in a later interview, admitting a female had stirred the pot. Yet despite these public claims of resolution, tensions began to simmer beneath the surface. As both artists rose to greater fame, the friction only intensified. Industry insiders noted that Mo3's rapid ascent often put him at odds with other local stars. In fact, the rising tension between Mo3 and his peers would eventually turn tragic. On May 27, 2017, Mo3 was performing at Club Phantom in Fort Worth. What started as a night of celebration took a fatal turn when gunfire broke out just before 4 a.m. A 31-year-old man named Hector Wilkins, known in the streets as Lil Half, was shot in the torso and later died at the hospital. The authorities suspected a gang-related killing, though details remained murky. Soon after, Mo3's world was shaken. In a dramatic early morning raid, police stormed his home, charging him with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and setting a $100,000 bond. Despite the serious accusations, Mo3 appeared unfazed. During a phone interview, he even joked about how officers let him drive his own truck to jail, stopping at McDonald's along the way. Still, the case took a financial toll. Mo3 later shared that he had spent over $90,000 in legal fees, leaving him virtually broke. He maintained that the police had arrested him based on nothing more than rumors from social media. In the end, the charges were dropped for lack of evidence, but the drama had already taken its toll on Mo3's finances and reputation. As the tension between Mo3 and other Dallas artists continued to escalate, others found themselves caught in the fallout, including comedian Roy Lee, who became an unexpected casualty of the ongoing feud. Known for his humor and unfiltered takes, Roy Lee often turned the ongoing rap feud into material for his comedy, claiming it was Mo3 against the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area. His words, though, sometimes cut too deep. As Mo3's close friend, it was no surprise that Lee defended him while poking fun at his rival. But one of his targets, Yella Beezy, wasn't about to take it quietly. In a live interview, Roy Lee openly mocked Beezy's Oak Cliff roots, daring him to come on up so we can rob you. The disrespect didn't go unanswered. A confrontation soon erupted at the King of Diamonds nightclub in August 2017, with Lee later accusing Beezy and his crew of jumping him. Roy Lee called for a fair one-on-one fight, yet the animosity only grew. In interviews that followed, Lee upped the stakes, questioning Beezy's credibility and throwing out increasingly harsh insults. The back and forth highlighted the deepening divisions in the Dallas rap scene. By September 2018, things took a tragic turn. While sitting in a parking lot, Roy Lee was shot in the leg. At first, it seemed he might recover. He kept performing comedy shows and even shared updates on social media. But weeks later, complications arose. Blood clots formed, and Lee passed away. His death shocked the community. Mo3 took the loss to heart, showing off a memorial chain in an emotional interview and lamenting that Lee wasn't supposed to die like that. Although no one openly accused Beezy of involvement, speculation ran wild. Then, just days after Roy Lee's passing, Beezy became the target of a violent ambush. In the early morning hours, while driving on the Sam Rayburn tollway, another vehicle pulled alongside him and fired over a dozen shots into his car. Struck multiple times, Beezy miraculously survived. He was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment, his survival a testament to just how close this feud had come to claiming yet another life. News of the shooting spread like wildfire, prompting an outpouring of reactions on social media from fans and fellow rappers. Many speculated that the attack was a direct retaliation for Roy Lee's death, given the simmering tensions in Dallas. In a later interview on The Breakfast Club, Beezy opened up about the terrifying night, recounting how he noticed suspicious cars following him after leaving a club. Despite being on high alert, it was too late by the time the shots rang out. While Beezy focused on recovering, Mo3 maintained a public silence about the shooting. In interviews, he avoided questions about the incident, making it clear he wasn't interested in discussing it. But tensions between the two flared up again in July 2019 at the Unruly Citizens Festival held at the Ford Center. Both rappers were scheduled to appear, but when Mo3 arrived, police informed him he would not be allowed inside. Meanwhile, Beezy performed without any trouble. Mo3, furious at being blocked, went live on Instagram, accusing Beezy's team of using the police to keep him out of the event. In his live rant, he painted the incident as a calculated move by Beezy to undermine him. Beezy, however, was quick to dismiss Mo3's claims, brushing them off as a ploy for attention. "Man, stop playing," Beezy said in response. "Ain't nobody on the same flyer as me." The back and forth escalated as Trap Boy Freddy, a Beezy ally, joined the fray. Freddy laughed at the situation, alleging that Mo3 had faked being turned away just to drum up controversy. "Look at the flyer," Freddy quipped. "He wanna be relevant." 2 days later, Beezy addressed the incident in an interview with Vlad TV. When Vlad brought up Mo3's name, Beezy smirked and replied dismissively, refusing to even dignify the claims with a detailed response. This attitude only fueled Mo3's frustration, leading him to release Let Me Find Out, a scathing diss track directly targeting Beezy. The release of Mo3's diss track marked a turning point. Gone were the days of subtle jabs and interviews. Mo3 made it painfully clear that Beezy was now his sworn enemy. The feud was no longer just a simmering rivalry, it had escalated into a full-scale conflict. As tensions grew, the violence began spilling over to those in their respective circles. In January 2020, Mo3's manager, Brandon Rainwater, found himself at the center of the chaos. Outside V-Live strip club in Dallas, surveillance footage captured Beezy and his crew chasing Rainwater down, dragging him to the ground, and beating him in the street. The vicious attack left Rainwater with a dislocated hip and sparked a $1 million lawsuit against Beezy. Mo3 didn't let the moment pass quietly. He took to Instagram Live, mocking Beezy and his team for targeting his scary manager instead of addressing their real issues. It was a clear signal that the animosity was reaching dangerous new heights, leaving many to wonder when or if things would calm down. But the feud didn't cool off. Instead, it spiraled toward tragedy. On November 11th, 2020, Mo3's life was violently cut short in a brazen daylight ambush on one of Dallas's busiest highways. That morning, he was driving along Interstate 35 near the Dallas Zoo after reportedly leaving a female companion's house. What he didn't know was that 2 assassins in a black Chevrolet Camaro had been tracking his every move. This wasn't a chance encounter, it was a carefully planned attack. As Mo 3 realized he was being followed, he swerved and hit the brakes, trying to evade his pursuers. On a crowded freeway, however, his options were limited. Dashcam footage would later reveal the haunting final moments. Mo 3 pulled over and stepped out of his vehicle, rushing toward the passenger side as if to retrieve something from the glove box. Many believe he was going for a gun, but he never got the chance. A masked gunman armed with an assault rifle leapt out of the Camaro and charged toward Mo 3's car. With no weapon ready to defend himself, Mo 3 was left vulnerable in what would tragically become the final chapter of a feud that had raged for years. Mo 3 made a desperate split-second decision. He bolted down the highway, weaving between cars as shocked drivers slammed their brakes to avoid the chaos. But his pursuer was faster. Gunshots echoed across the freeway, striking Mo 3 9 times and sending him crashing to the pavement. The masked shooter returned to the Camaro and sped away, leaving Mo 3 bleeding out in the middle of the freeway. For what felt like an eternity, he lay motionless as stunned onlookers scrambled to help. Traffic ground to a halt. Civilians rushed to his side, one even attempting CPR in a frantic bid to save him. But the damage was too severe. News helicopters hovered overhead, capturing haunting aerial footage of the aftermath. Mo 3's lifeless body stretched across the highway, flanked by law enforcement securing the scene. Local news stations quickly picked up the story, broadcasting the shocking assassination of the 28-year-old rapper. Fans and family were left shattered, as one of Dallas's brightest stars was taken too soon. What began as a rap feud had spiraled into a deadly street war. Mo 3's murder wasn't just a loss for his loved ones. It was a seismic blow to Dallas's music scene. But the tragedy didn't end there. The events that followed only deepened the city's wounds. Shortly after the shooting, Trap Boy Freddy posted a video to his Instagram story, seemingly stuck in the traffic jam caused by Mo 3's death. Sirens blared in the background as he casually remarked, "Freeway blocked off." The post's timing and location, just minutes from the crime scene, raised eyebrows. Freddy followed up by posting tributes to his own fallen friends, then, shockingly, declared it was time to celebrate. Meanwhile, Yella Beezy went live on Instagram, where his comment section erupted with accusations. Fans flooded his feed, demanding to know if he had any involvement in Mo 3's death. Rather than address them head-on, Beezy played it cool, acting as if he was clueless about the situation. Go Yayo also joined the fray, reacting to a Facebook post where someone said they wished it had been him instead. Yayo's response? "I'm gonna live forever," accompanied by the hashtag #HashMurderGang. His words left no doubt about his lack of sympathy for Mo 3's passing. Though no concrete evidence linked Yella Beezy, Trap Boy Freddy, or Go Yayo directly to the murder, their online reactions painted a grim picture. Their seeming indifference, if not outright glee, only fueled speculation that they knew more than they let on. Mo 3's death wasn't just the end of a life, it was the start of deeper questions and unresolved tensions that would haunt Dallas's rap scene for years to come. For many of Mo 3's supporters, the taunts following his death were seen as more than just disrespect. They were a call to action. Within days, Dallas erupted into chaos. Violence swept the city, and reports emerged that as many as 8 people were killed in what some believed were retaliatory strikes. While officials suggested these incidents might be unrelated, the timing made others certain that they were acts of vengeance. The unrest reached such a boiling point that even Boozy Badaz, Mo 3's mentor and close collaborator, found himself targeted. While in Dallas attending a vigil for Mo 3, Boozy was shot in the leg. The attack sent a chilling signal. No one, not even those paying their respects, was safe. Although Boozy survived, the shooting underscored just how volatile the situation had become. As the violence spread, public pressure on law enforcement intensified. The Dallas Police Department ramped up its efforts, determined to bring Mo 3's killers to justice. Then, on December 10th, 2020, a breakthrough came. Authorities arrested Condontrell White, a 22-year-old aspiring rapper known as FGG Banzo Bling. White was charged in connection with Mo 3's murder, and the evidence against him quickly piled up. Court documents revealed that an anonymous tip, along with key evidence, likely cell phone data, placed White at the scene. But what made headlines were White's social media posts. Just 2 days before Mo 3's murder, White had posted a photo of himself holding cash and a rifle with a caption that read, "He put a bag on him, now I'm up." The post, seen in hindsight, seemed to hint at a payment White had received for the hit. Even after the murder, White didn't hide. Surveillance footage placed a car matching the one used in Mo 3's killing at a location tied to White. 2 weeks later, he was spotted flaunting large amounts of cash at a jewelry store, further drawing attention to his activities. Once arrested, White continued to embrace the spotlight, releasing music from jail that seemed to reference the shooting. But what sent the internet into a frenzy were photos showing White hanging out with Yella Beezy, sparking fresh questions about how deep their connections ran. Despite the mounting evidence linking Yella Beezy to the case, he appeared unfazed. As 2020 came to a close, he posted a chilling message on Instagram, bragging about putting his haters in the dirt. The statement only deepened suspicions, making fans and critics alike wonder if Beezy knew more about Mo 3's death than he let on. The following month, Quan Dontrell White gave a jailhouse interview. He dismissed the accusations against him as just part of being a gangster and shockingly revealed that his newfound notoriety was the closure they've sought for so long.